To answer question K, if all of the world's cultural heritage, sports, music, fashion, architecture, literature and painting, etc., was contained in a time capsule, what would you include to demonstrate the legacy of your country? This is an interesting question, and where do I begin? I will pick 4 points to illustrate the United Kingdom's legacy in the world. Number 1. For good and for bad, the British Empire has had a huge impact on the world. So I want to start with the most obvious legacy of the British Empire, the English language. This has spread all over the world and become the world's international language of business. Even IE has English in its global MBA course requirements. It is estimated that 420 million people speak English as their first language. And, depending on the criterion chosen, English is said to have as many as 2 billion speakers. As such, English, as a global language, permitting everyone around the world to communicate with each other, is my first item to represent the United Kingdom in the time capsule. Moving on to the second legacy, and a favourite of mine, it is the Westminster-style parliamentary government. This is a cabinet system with a prime minister as a head of government, but with a monarch or a ceremonial president as head of state. It is a stable system of free and democratic government with regular elections. The UK Parliament in Westminster is known as the Mother of Parliaments and has served as a model for the parliaments of the Commonwealth countries such as Canada, Australia, New Zealand, India, Jamaica, Malta, Trinidad and Tobago and the Bahamas. As such, the Westminster parliamentary system is next on my list to enter the time capsule. Number 3. Sports have become a legacy of the United Kingdom, and not because we always do well. An ex-Prime Minister of the United Kingdom once said, "We, the UK, invented the majority of the world's great sports." 19th century Britain was the cradle of a leisure revolution, every bit as significant as architectural and industrial revolutions we launched in the century before. The most notable is the modern game of football. This evolved out of traditional football games played in England during the 19th century. Although the only major national team competition won by a home nation is the 1966 World Cup, which England hosted and won, we haven't been successful in recent times. And interestingly, no United Kingdom national football team is regularly formed. Despite this, the game of football remains the world's most popular sport, with a reported 3.5 billion fans. Other notable sports are cricket, which is played in every Commonwealth country, although less so in Canada, rugby union and rugby league, both developed from the traditional British football game, and tennis, which first originated in the city of Birmingham between 1859 and 1865. As such, these sports are also being added to the time capsule. Lastly is the NHS. Being a global citizen, living in different countries, and accessing healthcare in places that aren't the UK, this is one of the things I value most about the United Kingdom. The idea of uniting the country's hospitals and doctors' surgeries in one great state-run conglomerate had started during the Second World War. Although, at its creation in 1948, the ambition of the NHS was to build a health service based on 4 principles. It was to be free at the point of use, available to everyone who needed it, paid for out of general taxation, and used responsibly. What I like about this system is that it removes barriers and obstacles to those who really need it. No complicated reimbursement structure exists, and for me, a person living in Belgium, a country that loves paperwork, healthcare reimbursement is a burden that I don't need. I ask myself almost daily, why do other countries not follow the model of the NHS? It isn't perfect, but it's certainly by far the best healthcare model I have come across in the majority of places. As such, the NHS, a complete health service available to every member of the community, free at the point of use, is entering the time capsule. And so I conclude, to represent the United Kingdom, I have put in the time capsule 1. English as a world language. 2. The Westminster parliamentary system. 3. Sports such as football, cricket, rugby and tennis. And 4. And finally, the NHS, a healthcare system available to all, paid out of taxation which is free at the point of use.